Hey everyone, I'm Lou Perez, your host at the Builder Upper Show, a podcast where we talk about everything in construction and trades. Now let's get into it. I would like to welcome our guest, Brian Keller, CEO of QBC. Hey Brian, how's it going today?
Great, good to be with you, Lou.
Thank you. So you got to tell me, who is QBC?
So we are a construction company in the southern Wisconsin area. We provide labor and materials for multifamily projects, all the way from framing labor, trim labor, countertop install, flooring materials, cabinet materials, and trim materials, primarily for multifamily new construction.
Awesome. That sounds great. So, what's the story behind QBC? How did you get all started? Or actually, how did you personally get started in construction?
So me personally, I started when I was very young with my father. He was in construction, actually in Wisconsin, in Sun Prairie area. And just kind of grew up in construction with a lot of siblings. Just kind of continued with that all the way through school. And after high school, kind of got out and then started working for a few different people after high school. As far as our company, yeah, we started 27 years ago. We previously I had worked for a number of different companies, but at that time, the people who own QBC were all working together for another company, but we just felt like that company did not appreciate the employee as far as like listening to employee ideas, looking at benefits and different things, making the employee kind of more important role in the company. We kind of just felt like we were cogs in a wheel, which unfortunately was pretty common in construction, especially when I was growing up, and even afterwards out of school and all of that. Construction workers typically were not revered at all, and so we started our company to really put more of a focus on the employee and to kind of maybe change that stigmatism of the construction worker and really try to get people to see it more as a noble profession, something they could do well with, something that could be a career for them. And not just something that they had to do because they couldn't do anything else.
Incredible. That really will appeal to the younger generation coming into the workforce today. I feel like that's needed. I think you might be one of the very few people that I've heard trying to change that stigma. Your approach into passing that information along. How do you get the word out about QBC and recruiting young talent and letting them know, like, this is our culture and this is how we do things?
So we work with a Wisconsin Youth Apprentice Program, to where there's some local schools that are part of that program. And so we're working with them, giving them an opportunity to be an apprentice, whether it be for during their school year, during the summer, with the opportunity if they want to come on full time after their kind of apprenticeship through their school is over. We also have a program that we've been doing since 2018, where I go down to the Beloit High School. It's about an hour outside of Madison. And I work with the construction level 3 class. And I just kind of do some assistant coaching with the teacher, helping them build a small building. We do the framing of it, the siding, the roofing of it. And I just kind of help coach them a little bit. I typically go down once a week for a few months while we get that built. And then I go back in the spring to do a little recruiting. And then, I've been very lucky to be able to go down there and do that. For when COVID was happening, we weren't able to go, but I did do some training videos for them that they were able to use while I wasn't able to actually be on site. And then it's just wonderful that I get to go back down in the spring, talk to the kids, talk to the students, not just about what we have to offer, but we've kind of developed it into, with myself and the teacher, that we've developed it into kind of a coaching session where whatever they do after high school, just giving them some kind of advice and guidance and different opportunities that are out there that obviously when I was younger weren't there, didn't really have the people to kind of come in and talk to you and teach you on some of these things. So great opportunity for us to be able to be part of those couple of programs. We are continuing to look at other like school programs, other work programs where we can get involved. I know there's some talk of up in another area near us, probably about half hour, 45 minutes north of us, that's looking to do something similar to that, to really start to get to the kids. The reason for that is we really want to get to the kids before they get out of school, because we understand, especially like me, when I got out of school, I wasn't planning to go to secondary school. So to be able to give those kids an opportunity to see that there is something out there, and then really trying to help them to have the best possible experience coming out of school, getting into the trades, that will really kind of get them excited about doing that possibly as a career.
That was the best advice when I got out of high school. Was somebody actually told me about career opportunities in construction, getting into it and showing a career path that changed my entire life. So it's like, that's something, a path that I went down, and I will never regret it. It was the best experience I've ever had. I totally support everything that you just said. What I'm really interested in, I noticed we're only like 5 minutes in, and I'm already seeing a pattern. You know how to go after that younger generation and appeal to that younger generation as a company. It's almost like you're setting yourself up for success. What drove you to go target those younger individuals? Like, has there ever been a standout candidate that you had and you're like, wow, I need to double down on this approach? Be interesting to unpack that.
Just that, yeah, I've worked with, some younger people that have come to work for us, didn't necessarily have a lot of experience. I remember one young person, he was a truck driver for a few years out of high school and just looking for something different. But there's an eagerness there that's exciting for us. They're really looking for something and someone to maybe help them, guide them a little bit. I know they do a good job in the schools now, but like when I was in school, there wasn't necessarily great advice. You either went to college or you were on your own. There wasn't a lot of direction. There wasn't people that came in and kind of talked to you about it. And just, we know that the next generation is our workforce. And if we don't get out there and start talking to them and recruiting them and showing them what the opportunities are, we know we're going to lose them. And, as I get older now, and as our leadership gets older, we know that they're going to need to be replaced with the younger group. And so one of our big focuses is not just going out and talking to them, but also being able to show them the opportunity for them, what they could accomplish, say, in the next 5 or 10 years with inside our organization.
These are interesting opportunities for you when you get in front of these students, when you're dropping in on them. Do you ever take a moment to, teach them even just basic life skills, or give them any type of personal advice, and just maybe guiding them in general outside the workforce, where they can really look at you as a true mentor?
Yeah, the last few years that I've been going down to the one school, when I go back in the spring to talk to them, I always talk to them about like their future, what opportunities they have. And a big emphasis, what I talk about with them, is about becoming more valuable in the workplace, and trying to help them understand that they don't get paid for their time. They get paid for the value that they bring to the company, whoever they work for. And really trying to help them understand that for them to be successful, one of the key things for them is really figure out how to become more valuable. Like, again, I try to get them to understand that, yeah, you can show up for a paycheck every day, but real value comes from what you can do to become more valuable on a regular basis, improve your skills, improve your mindset, improve how you look at things. So I probably spend half the time in the spring when I go back down on that one day. I'm there for about an hour. I probably spend half the time talking to them about, planning for retirement, setting money aside. And then, just their skills as they go into like soft skills, like communication, becoming more valuable, just helping them really understand all of those things. Because there's so much opportunity now for younger people, I feel, than when I was younger, in the fact that the world is at their fingertips. Like anything they want to know, anything they want to learn, all they got to do is grab their phone, and within 30 seconds, they can find it.
Soft skills goes a long way. That's for sure. Who was your inspiration to become a leader and have these type of leadership skills? Did you learn from somebody? How did you get all this knowledge yourself?
So, shortly after the crash, right after that, I had looked into other opportunities outside of construction just because at that time construction got hit so hard, as you know, as well as everybody else. But it was something that we were really not anticipating or expecting to get hit that hard. And so I actually I got it connected with a group that was doing personal development stuff. We'd go to these different conventions. It was kind of network marketing. And I know some people like, that's a taboo word, but the great thing that I learned from it was just being exposed to a bunch of different leadership people, John Maxwell, Darren Hardy, there's a few other ones. And one of the big things that I learned when I came back from those events was, as we were starting to try and grow our organization, I kind of realized that I was a pretty crappy leader. The thing is I could really tell everybody what to do, but I wasn't teaching anybody what to do. And I would say John Maxwell was probably the biggest impact on that. He talked about listening, learning, then leading, which is a big part of our leadership coaching and training programs we have. So when I came back, I really took time. First I spent a couple of years just studying it, researching, reading books, going to seminars, learning from different people. And mainly because I knew I needed to become a better leader if I was going to be able to do anything to help the organization grow. And my role has always been CEO or president, or, I've always been the front person for the company. So after doing a lot of that learning and training for a few years, we started to develop our own leadership training programs. And now I just got done with another group on the entry level, and we're getting ready to start our next elite level leadership training program. And I just know from all the experience I've had with all these different people that it's the only way to grow a successful organization.
Do all employees have access to these leadership programs that you're offering?
Yeah, so typically what happens is the employees will come to work for us, and they're made aware of the programs. As they kind of get going, I'll talk to their leadership and just say, okay, we're getting ready to start a class. The classes are typically, we do one session a month, roughly, and they're anywhere from 8 to 10 sessions. In the first one, the entry level, there's not a lot of homework with it, but it's showing up, paying attention. But the leadership will start to make recommendations of people they think would really benefit from it, or that they're looking at as candidates for leadership out in the field. And then now we do as same administratively, we try to put everybody through the program. Once they get through the entry level leadership program and they've kind of gotten through that, and there's not really a pass or fail, there's kind of just graduation from it. Then they get recommended, then we kind of go back to the leadership again, and they'll recommend who should go on to the elite leadership program. And that one's a little more intense. There's homework with that. And they really have to commit time and effort to being part of that program.
That's a great commitment and investment on your side. As far as the background with the employees, their culture, and everything that you're bringing in, do you have any type of interview process that you go through to kind of choose these candidates, to know what kind of people you're bringing in and make sure that they're a good culture fit with the others? Like, do you have any provisions in place when you're doing this process?
We do now. It used to be I did all the hiring, and we learned I was not good at that. So I do not do any of that anymore. The challenge I always had is I'm an eternal optimist. So I believe everybody is a great candidate. And so what we do now is we have a 3-step process where they'll come in and they do an interview. Our team will ask them a few different questions. I think they got about maybe a dozen questions that they'll ask them. One of the biggest ones is, what research did you do on us? Because we want you to be interested in who we are. And we really like it to be kind of a dual interview where they're asking questions of us, we're asking questions of them. And that part of it is really just starting to kind of get a feel of the person, and if we feel like they'd be a good cultural fit. And then, kind of what their qualifications are maybe for the role that they're applying for. In the second interview, it's typically a different interviewer, usually the person that would be their direct report, like the person that would be supervising them. And then it's going to go into more skills. There may be even some activities that they can do to prove their skills or show their skills, just to really see if they can do what they say they can do. And then the third interview is usually some leadership people, and that's all culture. All they're doing is asking questions, targeted questions to find out if they're the right kind of person that will fit into our culture. And we had established kind of an employee persona that we wrote up. We actually had every employee that was currently working sign that, and new employees are supposed to sign that. And it kind of details what kind of employee we're looking for. And so we really found that to be very helpful in being able to kind of make sure we're getting the right people. You're not going to get it right 100% of the time. I mean, that's just impossible, but it's definitely allowed us to get a lot better. Also in that process, and we've updated our website, it's really more about we get it done. And, we are a moving, forward-thinking company. And so we're looking for people that's why one of the questions is, do you do any research on us? Because we want to see if they've gone and seen who we are as a company to see if they really fit into that. And so that's a big part of our process of getting the right people on the bus.
That's a good point too. So, I mean, just take 5 minutes, read our About Us page or read something about us that's on our website, come to the interview prepared. So just for anybody that's listening that is going to have an interview set up with you, there's your quick tip when you're getting into the interview process. But it's an easy thing to do, and it's very short. It takes like 5 minutes, and then you can get a good understanding of what QBC is all about. It's good. So the next question would be, and this can be anything. So as far as business, recruiting, doesn't matter. Is there something that you know today that you wish you knew when you started?
I guess being more targeted about like who we were, what we wanted to create as a company, kind of where we wanted to go, what we wanted to look like. When we started, we were 4 guys working out of our truck, and we knew framing, but we didn't know anything about business. We didn't know anything about that kind of stuff, and and structure and strategy, and projects or projections and budgets and all of that. So yeah, just like for anybody that's new looking to start their own business, really the biggest thing is understanding who you are, who you want to be, what do you want it to look like, and really kind of nailing that down. We were always, our philosophy was we're never going to let anything hold us back. So we're going to look at opportunities. We're never going to say no to something until we really take a look at it. But I think earlier, if we would have had just a little more direction, a little more strategy, I think would have helped us get where we wanted to get to a little sooner.
That makes total sense. And when I came across QBC, we met at Associated Builders and Contractors. It was an event in Wisconsin called SuperCon. I met some of your folks that were in the crowd. I was giving a speech on AI in construction. Now, I want to ask you, being a member of Associated Builders and Contractors, ABC, as they call it, what kind of benefits has that brought your company? And have you learned anything? Have you applied anything that you've learned? It'd be great to get your experience with ABC so other contractors can hear what you have to say about that and maybe even consider it as a good option for themselves.
Yeah, I think the big thing is the network. So yeah, like meeting you guys, the opportunities from the network of people that you're going to meet, that you're going to have the opportunity to go to these events, connect with. It could change your organization. So I really encourage people to get involved in those. I mean, you got to show up. We like our team. We have a few different people that go to different things for different reasons. But yeah, getting out there, meeting new people, finding out what's going on in the market. You look at how much construction has changed in 27 years. I mean, it's, we had a cell phone when I started, but we didn't really use it that much, and now it's everything. So just really understanding that you need to get connected with other people, and ABC is a great way to do that. They have different programs that you can be a part of. They have some apprenticeship programs. They have resources for various different things that can help your organization. So yeah, I think it's a great relationship. It can be a great partnership, but you got to utilize it. It's one of those things like a subscription. If you don't actually do it and use it, then you're kind of wasting your time.
That's a good point. Don't just sign up and not show up. Actually be there, attend the meetings, attend the sessions, learn from everybody. And networking is huge. So I totally am with you on all of that. That's a really good feedback. We'll pass that to the ABC team so they can share it with everybody too. As far as the, I mean, you brought up something that would be my segue. You brought up cell phones, right? How do you leverage technology in your business today?
Oh my gosh. So if I go back to when we started, we did all our accounting by hand in a notebook.
Oh, wow.
And that was just how it was done. And then we started using QuickBooks, and now we ran into a situation where QuickBooks was just not performing for us. We have multiple companies, and so we're doing a lot of different things, and we need to be able to put that all in one place. And we had a couple of days, I think it was around payroll or something, that they were running, and QuickBooks was down, and everybody was coming in my office and complaining about it. And what do we do? And we're like, okay, we need something different. So we went out and researched what is the number one platform for accounting out there right now, and it ended up being NetSuite. We went down that road. We just are almost done with our integration from QuickBooks over to NetSuite. It's been about 6 months. But I encourage everybody, you need to keep up with what's going on. We're construction guys. I had somebody ask me the other day, well, you sure seem to know a lot about some of this stuff. Do you have an accounting degree? And I'm like, no, I was just in construction. But if you are not staying up to date with what's happening, you are going to get left behind. I'm constantly telling our team, what are we doing with AI? Where are we with AI? How are we using AI? What is new with AI? We're trying to incorporate that into our estimating with this new platform that we're using for our estimating. I think it's called StackCT, which is another new thing that we're kind of throwing at the team right now. And it's just, for me, it's really exciting because we're doing all these new things that are, some of it is making us more efficient. Some of it's taking the place of another person we would have to hire, to where we're just being more efficient as a team. And it's super exciting for me because I feel like we're just getting started with a lot of it.
It's so smart. I mean, there's these pillars in construction of what you need in your back office. You have accounting, you have payroll, you have estimating, and utilizing AI to tie all these things together. You're setting yourself up to be the number one competitor. So anybody that's not utilizing AI eventually is going to be left in the dust. You're future proofing your company so that you're going to surpass anybody else out there with high tech, low labor, more functionality. You have a clear visibility into exactly what you're working on. That's super exciting. So is there anything, how gathering data from the field and bringing that to the back office, what tech are you using today to help enhance all of that?
Yeah, I would say the most exciting one that we're working on right now is Lumberfy. It's our new time tracking app. And what's so exciting about it is that it's real-time information for the people in the field. It's automatic. And, we used to do everything by hand. So we would, I was joking with the team the other day, everybody filled out a paper timesheet, turned it into me, and then I would enter it into QuickBooks, and then I would run all the payroll. And I would say we spend about the same amount of time with 90 employees as we did with 20 employees.
Wow.
It just cuts and I know with lumber, I know with what's happening, it's going to cut that time down even more and reduce the amount of staff we will need to be able to keep all of that stuff going and functioning. And we're super excited about how it's going to help with real-time data for the people working in the field, where they can literally look down at their tablet, pull up a project, and look at their cost to date or their tracking to date, and it'll give them real-time data.
That's really exciting. And I know personally, I can say it, from the short amount of time that we met to implementing Lumber, and we can officially say that Lumber is live as of Friday, which is really exciting. I know the team gave tremendous feedback about your team and our teams working together. We work very closely in our partnership, and really thrilled to kind of share your experience with the world, because the way that you're going about enhancing your technology and back office is really a game changer. So It will be a clear cookie cutter template that other construction companies will want to follow so that they're enhancing their own processes and operations and workflows. So it's, kudos to you for taking the risk of implementing new tech and using AI to enhance. But honestly, like, we're already seeing the benefits that you're looking to get, which is, getting that clear visibility to real-time job costing. You have an app that the guys want to use in the field, and it's just an overall game changer, which is really cool. Good job on that.
It's exciting. We just ran our first full payroll last pay period for last week, and everything went through and everything went the way it was supposed to go. We're just excited about that. One big thing for us is one thing that I'm always telling the team: the speed at which we do. And in this world, whether you're in construction or whatever you're in, if you are not understanding the speed at which things change and the speed at which you need to adapt and grow and move, you are definitely going to get left behind. So yeah, we love being at the forefront of, for companies like ours that do, testing out all this new technology and working with all this new stuff. And if we can be the ones that help, pave the way for some other companies to look at this stuff and go, okay, this stuff works and it can help me, it can help maybe my small business. We love that.
I know. So Lumber does tech reviews for construction. Would you be a company that would be willing to come in and guide other contractors, of course, not competitive ones, right, to help them figure out technology, adopt the right tech, and see what would be best for their business? Because you have all the experience now, you have it in place, you know what you're doing. Could you be a mentor for other contractors?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. One of my big things, one of my big passions, at least right now, is really trying to figure out how to help more maybe smaller business or people trying to get into small business, whatever it is. I just feel like there's maybe not enough resources out there to help them. And I know one of the challenges, they don't know where to go. So like this show is great to where you're reaching out, letting people know that there are some options for them, some places they can go to either get mentorship, help, ABC, whatever it is, get some guidance. So yeah, we'd love to be a part of that.
Okay, I have an idea then. How about this? I'm going to invite you to be on stage for ABC Wisconsin's SuperCon next year, which is February 25th through the 27th. Would you be able to go hand in hand with me and we teach all the contractors at ABC Wisconsin everything about AI in construction?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would love that.
Okay, awesome. So everybody can hear it now. Schedule for SuperCon in February at ABC Wisconsin, and it's going to be an amazing event. Sign up for our session, and we'll be giving everybody an awesome speech, and you get to give everybody real life experience on how it's helping your business. So it's really cool.
Absolutely.
So I guess the most important part, right? Where can people find QBC? How do they find you? How do they look you up?
So our website is questbuildingcorp.com. So Quest, Quest, and then Building Corp, all spelled out. They can look for me on LinkedIn, Brian Keller. You can email me at bkeller@questbuildingcorp.com. You can find us through those different avenues. If you Google QBC, there's a good chance you'll find our website and be able to find out who we are and how to contact us and how to get a hold of us.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. And before we wrap up, do you have any advice for new construction owners that you would like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, kind of going back a little bit to what I was saying earlier, just really got to figure out who you are, who you want to be, what you want to do. And then, I was talking with somebody earlier today, you need to learn to understand the numbers and how they all work. And I would strongly suggest anybody that's looking to start out something new, any kind of business, whatever it is, but especially new, smaller construction company, find a mentor, somebody who can help you, that you could, you got to do your part. You got to go with questions. You got to go ready to learn, but find somebody that can give you some guidance, whether that be somebody in person, somebody you follow online, even like, watching this podcast, whatever it might be, reading a book, but find some information to help you get a good understanding of what you're going to need to know. Because I can tell you from experience, if you don't get ahead of it and learn it before you need it, the learning curve on that can be painful.
That's really good advice, Brian. And I mean, you heard it from Brian too. He's taking applications. Make sure you're submitting them now so that he can have a conversation with you for that mentorship. I would take full advantage if I was another contractor figuring out, what am I going to do for the future? How can I set up my business for success? Or should I get started? How do I get started? These are going to be very important questions that you should always talk to a mentor first and get guidance and direction, so you're not wasting time. Always learn from everybody's experiences. That's for sure. Well, thank you, Brian, for being a guest on the show. Please, everyone, like, subscribe, comment, and share the Builder Upper Show with anyone in the construction industry. We will see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke.
If you're a construction contractor and would like to appear as a guest on our podcast, write us an email. It's lou@lumberfi.com.